Okay, we're back here at Rocky Mountain Materials. Today I want to go over our new standing bird feet that we've been working on for a little while. We've been transitioning all of our stuff to 3D printing, and one of the downfalls of 3D printing is the resin just does not allow you, your standard resin just does not allow you to heat these feet up and really manipulate them like you need to on a standing foot. The flying feet, we don't have to do a lot of changes typically, and so it's not as much of a concern, but when you're trying to shape a standing foot around a branch or a rock and having the resin snap on the toes is very frustrating, especially when you're mounting a bird and you've already got everything painted. It sets you back. You might have to inject the feet originally when you didn't want to, and you lose some money. And let me show you what the new standing feet are going to look like, the design behind them, how they work. I think you're really gonna like them. I've spent a lot of time working with different resins and kind of configuring different properties of it to get a standing foot that is easy to work with, that paints good, that gives good detail, just all that stuff. It's taken a lot of time, but I'm excited of where we're at right now. So starting off, all of our standing feet, as you can kind of see, they have a slight bow shape to them, kind of a cup shape. And the idea behind there is most of the time when we're mounting a bird, the feet aren't going to be completely flat on the base. Most bases that we're doing have some kind of curve or roundness or sharp edges to them. And I've found that most of the time I'm shaping the foot to more of a round position. So we are printing these with the rounded shape already there. That's going to help with a lot of your base work. You might find that some of these feet don't even need to be shaped because just having that cupped shape on the foot is going to give it a more natural look to the base. So all of the standing feet, they're going to have that cupped shape to them coming out. The other difference is we're going with just a standard white color on our standing feet. The reason behind that is some of the resins that we're using to try and mix dyes and colors with, a lot of the resin doesn't come colored, and so we have to kind of configure our own colors in-house. And it gets really complicated with trying to figure out the painting process. Some of them look too translucent, some of them don't look natural. We've just found that the white gives the best as far as painting techniques and overall look. And so as of right now, all the standing feet will be white. And we've got a couple we're working with that may come out orange, like your shovelers and black ducks. Still working with that. But for the most part, I would say you're going to find your standing feet to be the white color. These two feet right here, pair of wood duck foot you have, our flying wood duck foot, which comes in a yellow color naturally is the base. And then I have my standing foot, which is in the white resin color. You can see I was able to paint these very, very close to the same color. And so this is only going to matter if you're doing one standing with 1 foot up, kind of a perched up wood duck. It's the only time that that's going to matter. Otherwise, all the standing feet are going to come in the same colors that will match. So just keep in mind that if you're going to be doing a standing foot, 1 foot, one relaxed, you're going to be receiving a foot that is white and has a different color there. But they do paint up similar if you do the same painting technique on both of them. I don't think you're going to find an issue with the painting process. Now let me show you something else on these that has been the biggest change and also the biggest improvement with these overall. These feet, to make them user-friendly, flex very easy, and you're not going to have to worry about them cracking or breaking unless you add extreme heat to these when trying to do your shaping on them. You should be able to shape these with just warm water, well, hot water from the tap of your sink in the shop. You don't need to boil the water. You don't need to use a heat gun if you don't want to. And I try to steer people away from the heat gun because adding too much heat on here, they can break if you do extreme bends on them. Overall, I've found that just hot water from the tap is going to give you the flexibility you need to make any adjustment on the foot. So let me just show you. I have cup right here with hot water from the sink. I'm just going to drop that standing foot in there and I'm going to let it sit for 30 seconds to a minute or so and just let that water kind of warm the foot up. So I'll sit here, we'll wait for that for a couple minutes and then come back and I'll show you how easy these are to work with and to flex. So I just pulled my foot out of the warm water. Now see how easy that foot flexes. If you're to put this in boiling water, you might find a pretty easy flex here on these feet. I have our hot water heater turned up pretty high in the shop, and so I've got some pretty warm water going to this. It does take a little bit of effort to bend them, but you can see you can get really good angles. You can get a good bend on these feet. And then once you shape it to where you want it, you just dunk it in some cold water and it will hold in place. So that's what we're going to do here. I'll bend this kind of in a very exaggerated pose, and then I'll just put it in the cold water I've got right over here on my workbench. And now we have a locked in foot where we need it to be. Now I do want to note one thing with this resin that we're using is we're still learning and improving on this stuff. The foot over time is going to naturally bounce back into the original cupped shape. I have tried working with different resins. I've tried working with different chemistries of it. This is as close as I can get right now. But with that natural cup shape on there, we talked about not having to do a lot of bends to begin with. So if we make our shapes, we get our bird mounted, if the feet lift up a little bit, we can take our heat gun for just 2 or 3 seconds, just enough to bend that toe back where we want it. Just glue it into place. Little super glue on the bottom, hit it with your accelerator spray, or if you don't have the accelerator, just super glue and hold it for 30 seconds or so. That super glue will adhere really well to the resin, and then your feet are locked into that position forever. So yes, there are some disadvantages to what we're doing, and I'm constantly working on trying to improve that. But for now, if you just need that foot in a very exaggerated, extreme pose, you may just have to glue those toes down to your base after your bird's all mounted. It's really not that complicated, not that difficult. So what I'm going to do is we're going to wire this foot up. I'll show you what to do if we're going to do a pose where, as you can see, if my bird's standing here and I need this foot to be flattened out a little bit more, I'll show you my method for doing that. It's really easy, and it'll give you a better understanding of why I've chosen to go with more of a cupped look instead of just a flat foot design. So the standing feet, let's go over the wiring method on these. Really easy. There's a channel that's already put in place on these standing feet when you receive them. That's intentional. It's going to help just lock your wire in place. There is a hole pre-drilled in the foot to run your wire through, so you don't have to do any prep work that way. Run our wire through and determine how much length we need at the base down here for whatever we're anchoring it to. And then of course making sure we have enough wire up top, especially if you're doing a hip attachment, you have enough for the length of the knee and the hip and to be able to go into the form. Now the design for this little channel right here is so we can pull our wire out and say, okay, I need this much length right here to go into my base. So I'll make a bend, corresponding bend, so we have a little Z shape, and then I'm just going to run my wire up into the foot and allow that bend to sit in that channel right there. Now it's going to allow more area for when we glue this down so that the wire doesn't want to pop out. But now our foot, once that's in there, it's not going to want to rotate on the wire. That locks us in place. It also gives us a better attaching point on the foot so that we have less of a chance of seeing the wire come out of the ball of the foot. Easier to hide if it's up here on this toe. So we have our wire where we want it. We're just going to take our thick super glue that we sell. It's the Starbond brand, and I'm just going to put a little bit in that channel. Bend that wire so I can show you. We'll put some in that channel right there. And I usually do this twice. So I'll do my thick glue, I'll hit it with my accelerator spray. I'll let that set up. And then I'm going to go do one more round just to make sure I have all the areas filled in. I just want a nice secure wire for my standing feet. Then we'll let that dry for 10 or 15 seconds. Now at this point you could leave this as is and move on with the actual mounting process. I like up top here to just add a little bit of glue. You can see that wire likes to move a little bit just because we oversized the hole to accommodate different wire sizes. I'm just going to add a little super glue up there to kind of hold that in place. Extra support is not going to hurt. Add it there. Go to my accelerator spray, and then we'll give it a few seconds to set up before we do any twisting or tugging on it, just so we don't break that attachment free. Now, here's what I like to do after I have my wires all installed. This is typically when I will do the shaping on my bird foot, and that way I can kind of do a mock setup with my form, get it on the base, make sure it's fitting where I want it to and everything kind of works, and then I can make my adjustments at that point. If we're doing, like I mentioned earlier, if I'm doing an extreme bend on something, I can do my extreme bends just to make sure it's all going to work. We just might have to come back later, quickly heat it up with a heat gun, bend it, and glue it down into place after your bird's mounted, because we want to be able to remove our leg from the base during the mounting process. So what I like to do is, you can see we drop that foot down into the base, and the problem we're running into is now that natural curve on the foot is keeping the foot from being flush to our base. Well, simple solution there. We're just going to take our heat gun, and as I've mentioned before, I don't like using the heat gun very often. If I'm going to use it, I'm going to use it for just a couple seconds, even a hair dryer on high heat, just on here to kind of slow down the heating process. That's going to work the best here. So let me grab my heat gun right over here. You can see that foot's already moving. Now what I'm doing when I have my heat gun going, I am pulling down on this wire right here and forcing the foot into the base. And now we have a nice flat foot on the base with just a little bit of heat to that foot. You can see I wasn't very long adding heat here. I just pulled down, let the foot naturally spread open, and then once we have that and we're good with our position, we can bend our wire at the base, and that will lock this foot into position. So I have my wire bent over right here. We can have this sit in place, and then when we're ready to mount our bird, bend our wire back out, mount our bird, drop it back in place. If this foot, curled back a little bit, we just repeat the same process with the heat gun, pull our wires down, and get that foot sitting flush. Now what I like about this is, because that foot has a natural cupped shape to it, when we're doing a base that's a little more flat, we go and pull that wire down and lock it in place. That foot over time is naturally going to cause some of the tension and force it into the base to give it a more natural looking stance on that foot. You're not going to have to worry about gaps from the toes as if it heats up and they lift from a foot that's sitting flat. This one instead is going to push the toes more into the base to give it a more natural look on your bird. So that's what I do, just for a real simple, easy mounting solution to the base. And if you were to do any extreme bends with the heat gun, just be careful as you're bending, watch for any cracking. If you see cracking, it means you're heating it up too fast. These feet are very strong and they're not going to just snap. You'll see little stress lines, and that'll be your indicator that you're getting the foot too hot and you need to tone it down with something with a little bit lighter heat and a little more consistency during that time. Now, something else with these feet, you can do the shaping process before or after you paint them. I've had no issues painting the foot, dropping them in warm water, or using a heat gun to go ahead and make all my shaping after the foot's been painted. So this process can be done before or after the painting. I typically do it after I've painted everything and I have my finish work done, can get my base and my form all anchored and put together, and then I'm just ready to mount my bird. So that was our recap of the standing feet. I'm really excited for the workability and the ease of use these are going to be. We're going to go over a painting video as well They paint a little bit different, not much. You can get some really nice detail on them, just like we've got our standing wood duck there. And then I just did real quick, there's our hooded merganser foot, just with pastels. Obviously, if you're going to use an airbrush, it might be a little bit faster, but I will show you a method for both and kind of how these paint up compared to something a little bit different.